Now, on 105.9 FM and streaming worldwide on the WMAL app. O'Connor and Company.
Just about as popular as Taylor Swift's Life of a Showgirl album, it's O'Connor and Company, getting you to work or to school or to an amusement park for an extended weekend this middle of August
Or for
moment.
Martha's Vineyard, Larry. Where are you going to rub hobnob with the black elites at their film festivals and their fashion week?
I just want to be clear. Patrice Onwuka believes that Muriel is Bowser, our mayor. We call her Muriel. Muri. She's up in Martha's Vineyard because she wants to hobnob with the black elites. You know, there's non-black elites up there, too. They're elites of all colors.
Yeah, they're serving food. I know. Yeah.
Even at the Obamas and the Oprahs?
You don't think they have black servers? Yeah, they do.
Hey, you want to be starting something, Patrice? Better watch yourself on that. Do you think Muriel listens to WMAL while she's out of town on the app? You know, she can do that. She's got to stay in touch with what's going on here in D.C.
And our podcasts later, right, Larry?
That's right. Subscribe anywhere you listen to podcasts. It's fantastic for your audio enjoyment. All right. Coming up later this morning, Brent Sadler will join us at 7:05. He's a Heritage Foundation dude, knows about, foreign affairs. Big Trump Putin thing going on this weekend. 7:35, Jonathan Fahey, former acting ICE director. And then at 8:05, C.J. Pearson, fun guy. Like mushrooms. He's a fun guy. That's Patrice Onwuka. Go ahead, say it, Patrice, say it.
Happy Friday, everybody.
Let's
groove into this day. That's right.
I was saying,
MJ.
Whether you're going to work or getting the kids to, I guess there are some jurisdictions where school has begun already. It's insane here on the 15th day of August.
Very early.
Or for many families, this is the last weekend before school starts. We're taking advantage of it. We're heading up to Hershey Park for a fun day at the amusement park before. Well, actually, we don't care about school starting. All my kids are out of regular school. I got one kid. Well, that's not true actually. But they're all in higher education. They're all in college now. I was going to say I've got one kid in college, but I just remembered I've got another kid starting her. I'm very excited for her because she's excited. But she graduated college 3 years ago. She's been working professionally. She's paying her rent. I've never had to, help her with a bill. But she's decided to go back to college. She wants a master's degree. So she's starting school in 10 days, I guess.
Okay.
So I will have two kids back in school right when I thought I was done. Anyway.
Man, you're at the other end of the spectrum. I'm at the start. You know what I mean?
I know.
At least I've got them all in school, though. Full time. No more diapers at my house.
Well, and it's funny the way it works because Julie is in the middle. You've got
she
your
is in the
kids
middle.
just starting school. I've got my kids just ending school, and Julie's got all three of hers, finishing high school or in high school. So she's about to embark on that. All right, let's get you up to speed on the Melania Trump Hunter Biden thing. We mentioned this yesterday. Just to remind you, here was Hunter Biden on a podcast ranting and raving and passing along an unfounded, proven falsehood about the first family. Listen.
Do I think that what they do have implicates him? Yeah, I think so. I mean, Epstein introduced Melania to Trump. The connections are so wide and deep.
Okay, so this falsehood about Melania being introduced to Trump from Jeffrey Epstein was first reported by, what a sterling source this is, Michael Wolff. Michael Wolff,
goodness.
Yeah, he writes these tell-all slander books that are full of falsehoods, full of misreporting. And by the way, you heard in that clip, number one, he did not attribute this to Michael Wolff. He said it as though it was just gospel
common knowledge.
Everybody knows, common knowledge. It's a fact, number one. Number two, he went well beyond what Michael Wolff claims that the introduction happened. Epstein introduced this Slovenian model to Donald Trump, and the rest is history. Well, you heard in that clip, Hunter Biden then goes on to say The connections are wide and deep. Now, that's an invention of his own. I don't think that's in the Michael Wolff book. But, okay, fine. Melania Trump then sent out a lawyer letter, said retract this and apologize, or we're going to come down on you with a defamation lawsuit worth $1 billion. She's done this before, by the way. James Carville repeated this lie a week ago on a podcast, or 2 weeks ago. Sent the same letter. Carville said, "Oh, okay, I apologize. I quoting the Michael Wolff thing, that's not real." Well, yesterday, Hunter Biden had his opportunity. He went back on this same podcast he keeps doing, this Channel 5 podcast.
Yeah.
And in Hunter, true Biden fashion, in between the F words, he respectfully declined the invitation to retract and apologize. Take a listen.
I've got $1 billion document in my hands because Mrs. Trump is seeking $1 billion in damages if we don't take the video down and if Hunter here doesn't issue a formal apology to Mrs. Trump. So now we're here maybe to give you the platform to apologize to the First Lady for your statements that you made about her possible connection to Jeffrey Epstein.
That's not going to happen.
There you go. Pretty unequivocal.
As flippant and, but that is his brand. I mean, He doesn't have $1 billion. He doesn't have, we don't know how much they have, but I doubt that he is willing to go toe-to-toe. It's a lot of paintings
to make up $1 billion. He's got to sell
a lot. Yeah, but his father is no longer in office, Larry. Nobody's buying those kindergarten, paintings anymore. Nobody wants that. He's an up-and-coming artist,
Patrice. Come on now. This is getting real. It's going to be game on. Newsmax is reporting that President Trump fully supports the First Lady's efforts to move forward with this lawsuit. Okay. And he said, Melania, you want to sue? Go for it. Let's sue. Hunter, by the way, expanded upon his assertion that Jeffrey Epstein is the key figure in the first family's marriage. Take a listen.
Well, first of all, is that what I said was what I have heard and seen reported and written, primarily from Michael Wolff, but also dating back all the way to 2019, when the New York Times, I think Annie Carney and Maggie Haberman reported that sources said that Jeffrey Epstein claimed to be the person to introduce Donald Trump.
Pause that. Do you hear how he's already equivocating and distancing himself?
Yeah.
First of all, he clearly did some research. He had the names of the reporters in the New York Times that had reported something similar. He did a couple of Google searches. But unlike Hunter Biden, the New York Times reporters said that sources claim that Epstein claimed this, which is not the same as just asserting as fact this has happened, right? Already he's starting to backtrack, saying, I was just repeating what I heard Michael Wolff say. But that's not how he said it the first time. He said it as if it was truth, or at least it was as if it was some knowledge that he had. Okay, let's hear him finish here.
Trump to Melania at that time. And then it was, I think, excerpted in a book that was published in Vanity Fair. And I think it's been repeated by journalists and authors since then. But the primary source was the interviews that Michael Wolff has been conducting, in which he has actually tapes of, I think, hours and hours and hours of interviews with Jeffrey Epstein directly. So
there you go.
The fact of the matter is...
So Hunter Biden's not going to apologize. He says, hey, the New York Times, Vanity Fair, Michael Wolff, they've all repeated it. So if they can say it, I can say it, and now we'll see what happens. But when asked to apologize and retract, he said, F that. That's not going to happen.
He's broke. He can't afford it. I mean, listen, he's wrong and he knows it, and he's put his foot in his mouth. He's trying to put it on somebody else, but he's the one facing the defamation lawsuit. So if I were him, I would probably shut my mouth at this point.
You know what he should have done? He should have said, hey, this is the truth. I give you my word as a Biden. That would have done it. It's 6:15.
WMAL, making sense of the news. Live from the Home Paramount Pest Control Studios. Home Paramount, the leader in pest control since 1939.
Up in Gotham, the mayor's race continues, and there really hasn't been much of a shift in terms of the polls with Kami Mamdani there, back from his break
Oh, that's
in
a good
Uganda.
one, Larry. Kami
Yeah.
Mamdani.
Andrew Cuomo is trying his damnedest to cut into his lead. Mamdani isn't really... I got to say, he's doing an Abigail Spanberger. He's not engaging in any of the criticisms against him. He's not really responding to any of the challenges from Cuomo or from the current mayor, or certainly not from Curtis Sliwa. He's not really being challenged much by the media or by reporters. He's doing events, and he basically repeats the same stuff over and over again. I know New Yorkers, and for a lot of them, they're going to get tired of the shtick, repeating the same thing, affordability, things aren't affordable. But you see, every solution that he has will not help the problem because it's all socialist, communist claptrap. In fact, his big thing about government-run grocery stores and the billions of dollars he wants to float.
A failure waiting to happen, yes.
It literally is a failure that just happened in Kansas City. In Kansas City, They tried the same thing out, and that grocery store has now announced it's shutting down. They didn't have any selection. They didn't have competitive prices. People didn't go to it. But, of course, he wants to do the same thing because his latest proposal is free bus fare. Everybody can ride the bus for free. And let me just remind you, when the government provides something to you and they claim that it's free, understand that somebody's paying for it.
Of course.
Somebody's paying those bus drivers. Somebody's paying for the buses and the gas and the maintenance and all of those things.
Exactly.
So it certainly isn't free. But, of course, in a city like New York, when you announce that the buses are now free, you don't have to pay any fares, well, those buses will become rolling homeless shelters. That's all they'll be. Why get off the bus at any time, especially in the winter? Oh, are you kidding? All night long. It'll just be full of people sleeping. So left and right. Well, left and further left. Kami Mamdani continues to put out these proposals, and yet his opponents are not making a dent. The polls are pretty much the same. Cuomo, and again, I'm not rooting for Cuomo. I think that he's a jerk. But one has to – it's sort of a vexing choice that New Yorkers have right now between these people. That said, let me give you a couple of updates on some appearances that Mamdani had. First, here's Cut 9. Where Mamdani is continuing to press on the immigration issue and promising to keep New York a sanctuary city that will not cooperate with federal authorities.
On this tour across New York City, each and every borough, as we stand against the Trump administration's attacks on the very fabric of the place we call home, we also lay out what our vision will look like. It is not enough to fight against authoritarianism. What are you also fighting for? We are fighting to keep this city a sanctuary city.
Here's the problem. And I've lived in New York before, and I know how you're right. Listen, there's a lot of new immigrants who live in New York now who can vote. There's a lot of young people who have moved to New York who can vote. And, yes, they love the idea of socialism. Most New Yorkers who have lived there more than 10 years, they want you to clean up the streets, get the garbage picked up, fix traffic, fix crime, get out of my way. Because it's hard enough to live in New York. Stay out of my way and just keep things running well. This guy is running like he's going to be a mini president of New York. He's running against Trump, and everything is a national or international issue versus a local basic city issue, like make sure the trash gets picked up, which, by the way, is the job of the New York mayor. He may want to fight Trump every day as he's mayor, but he's going to get a rude awakening. From day one, his job is to run the city. Like the trash and the subways and the buses and the taxis and the, various things about, filling potholes.
The basic public services.
Boring stuff like
citizens
that.
Expect. Yeah, listen, he's enjoying a lot of energy and this idealism because I think these young people and some of these voters enamored with him They think of him as the future of politics. Well, that's going to get really tired when you can't get a seat on the bus because there are those homeless people you're talking about. Or frankly, the buses are so packed that they're either breaking down or they're not stopping at different stops. People will get tired of the rat infestation, which will only get worse.
That's right.
Because the trash is not being picked up, and they'll get tired that their bodegas, the places they usually normally went to go to, start shutting down because they can't compete with the government-operated grocery stores, which then have no food, so you're left with no options. I mean, it's a sad example of what can happen, but maybe it's a lesson that needs to be learned.
Well, or those bodegas will be shut down because criminals come in and kill the owner proprietor and ransack the place. Well, you heard him say that he's going on a 5-borough tour, right? You got Manhattan, Brooklyn, Queens, the Bronx. But people forget Staten Island literally is set apart from the rest of the city. Staten Island walks to its own beat. Staten Island is full of Republicans. Mamdani went to Staten Island. Take a listen to what happened at a campaign appearance in Staten Island.
Let me tell you something, man. You are not welcome in this island. October 7th, Jew hater. You Jew hater piece of Hey, Mr. Mamdani, can I talk to you? This is my island. You're not welcome here. Excuse me. You hate Jews. You hate this country. You hate this.
You're not welcome here. You're a communist. You Jew-hating piece of bleep. You get out of here. You hate this country. Oh,
yeah, that last one was...
That's my New York. That's the New York I know. Let's go, guys. You got 2 months. Let's do it right. It's 6:24.
All right. What's going on in California? Well, we'll give you an update on Gavin Newsom, what he's up to, and not surprisingly, it's trying to take on Trump. Stay with us. It's O'Connor and Company at 6:30.
WMAL FM, Woodbridge, Washington, a Cumulus media station. Making sense of the news. News Talk 105.9. News now. Now on 105.9 FM and streaming worldwide on the WMAL app. O'Connor and Company.
6:37. It's O'Connor and Company. Thanks for tuning in here this Friday, 15th day of August. Great to have you with us. At 7:05, Brent Sadler of Heritage to talk about the Trump-Putin meeting. 7:35, Jonathan Fahey, former acting ICE director, to talk about D.C. cops coordinating with ICE. And then at 8:05, C.J. Pearson. I don't think he's been on the show before, but I like this guy. He's a good kid. It's Larry O'Connor. He's a kid. He's young. I can call him a kid. It's Larry O'Connor. I have kids. Literally, I have kids younger than him, older than him.
Older than him.
It's Larry O'Connor with Patrice Onwuka. Good morning, Patrice.
Good morning. Happy Friday, everybody. We made it.
Indeed, we did. Although I have to say, I can't remember if I've mentioned this on the air or not, but I know I've mentioned it to you, Patrice, off the air. My intention is to run the Marine Corps Marathon this October.
Yes, that's great.
The last weekend in October. And I've never run a marathon before. I have run many half marathons, but I've never run a marathon. I've trained for a marathon before, and I always have an injury or something that happens. But so far, so good. Knock on wood. This year it's going fine, and I'm on track. I'm going to do it. It's going to take forever, but I'm going to do it. And my daughter just married a Marine, so I feel like I should do something for the Marine Corps since I've been so pro-Navy.
I think that's nice. Yeah.
But I have to say the training is getting intense, and this weekend is I'm hitting sort of this is a tough one. I have to run 10K today, and then a half marathon tomorrow. So yeah.
I mean, the 10K, that's fine, but
that's
fine.
That is no. I've reached a point now in the training where it's like, 6.2 miles. Yeah, that'll be fine. I'll be able to do 10K today. But then to turn around 24 hours later and run 13.1, that's going to be.
Oof.
Last week I did 12 miles, and it was I was fine. The only problem was the heat. I did it stupidly in the middle of the afternoon, and it was hot and humid.
Yeah, you got to go when the sun is barely rising. That's, I think, a good time to go.
I'm not a morning person.
You're on the show, too, if it's the middle.
Wait a
it's
second.
a weekday.
I am a bit of a morning person. Yeah, so later this morning it'll be 6.2 miles, and then tomorrow will be 13.1 miles. Wish me luck. Say a prayer for me. Please,
I will. I'll pray that you don't drop down. Oh, my gosh.
I'll be fine. But it's a little daunting. Also daunting is the Democrats' projection for midterms now that Texas has moved forward with their redistricting. And various other Republican states are eyeing this possibility as well. But Texas certainly had a lot of room to work with, and they also have the rules of engagement there on redistricting that made it very simple for them to say, you know what, I don't think we're best represented right now as a Republican state, as a diehard Republican state, in the same way as diehard Democrat states like Illinois and Maryland and Massachusetts and California have been represented. Do you know how many Republican representatives there are in the entirety of New England right now? I think it's one, maybe
it's
two.
Some low number compared to the number of registered Republicans, much more independents who actually are Republican or conservative, but just don't have an option to vote for.
Yeah. There's no representation for those states where, you know, when you look at all of New England, they probably vote 40% Republican in the presidential elections. Every 4 years.
Massachusetts for sure. I think Massachusetts was 30% voted for Trump last
way
fall.
more than that. I think it was 38%. And yet of their 9 congressional districts, not one of them is gerrymandered in such a way that a Republican gets representation. So Texas and the party at large is saying, yeah, enough of that. We should look in the House of Representatives the way California looks in the House of Representatives. Well, now California has decided that they're going to react. Gavin Newsom, who really wants to be president, is using this issue to try to show Democrats around the country that he's a fighter. And so he is now, yesterday, he called it Liberation Day. He's trying to...
So creative.
When will they ever learn that you can't out-Trump Trump?
No, you can't.
He planned a huge historic event yesterday in Los Angeles. By the way, he was just a couple of miles away from the devastating fire damage of the Pacific Palisades, where not one house has even begun reconstruction since
After
January.
A whole year.
Yes.
7 months. Sorry, 7 months. 8 months.
He also said in his announcement that this could be the worst day of your life, Donald Trump. The guy got shot at 2 years ago with a bullet whizzing past his skull by a fraction of an inch. And this scum in California says this will be the worst day. No, I think the worst day of his life may have already happened when he was almost murdered, Gavin Newsom. That said,
By the way, just Larry, the announcement on his social media feed is a knockoff of President Trump too, writing in all caps, using things like "the most beautiful" and "thank you for your attention in this matter." I mean, be creative. Stop trying to rip off President Trump. It's not funny. It's not witty either.
Here he was making his announcement in L.A., a city that is plagued by crime and homelessness and the aforementioned devastation from the Pacific Palisades fires that he's done nothing to fix. Here he is, though, using the voters of California and the citizens as a political pawn in his little game with Donald Trump.
To recognize today is Liberation Day in the state of California. And as Senator Schiff said, Donald Trump, you have poked the bear, and we will punch back. Wake up, America. Wake up. You will not have a country if he rigs this election. You will have a president who will be running for a third term. Mark my word. I wasn't exaggerating when I said that I received in the mail a Trump 2028 hat from one of his biggest supporters. These guys are not screwing around. The rules do not apply to him. The most corrupt president in history.
All right. So they've got these Trump 2028 hats as a joke, and somebody trolls him to send it to him, and he's like, you see, this is fascism. We're never going to have an election again. He's never going to leave office. Oh, God. He has no idea how stupid he makes himself look.
It's insufferable, and he's an embarrassment. But this is finally we found something they can be energized about. Democrats, they can be energized about losing power and about somebody else using the same tricks that they use to hold power, which is to gerrymander these districts. Now Republicans want to do it. Oh no, this is the end of the. So we actually know what they care most about: not constituents facing crime, not fires, not devastation. They care about holding power.
Well, he's made the announcement promoting something he's calling the Election Rigging Response Act because he thinks that redistricting in Texas is rigging an election. That's
but it's not in California, Massachusetts,
yes.
Illinois,
insurrection talk
Connecticut.
there. But here's the problem: he needs this has to be a ballot measure approved by the entire state of California, and I don't think it's going to win. But again, for voters in the Democrat primaries and caucuses of 2028, Newsom said, "Hey, I tried. I fought back. I spent money. I put my reputation on. I tried to fight for you." And sadly, I think for most Democrats in this country, that'll be enough to shoot him into the lead for the nomination. It's 6:44. Meanwhile, also in California, while Gavin Newsom was giving this big event in Los Angeles, again, just a couple of miles away from the devastating Palisades fires, where not one house has begun rebuilding yet because of the slow morass of red tape and dysfunction in the city, county of LA, and the state of California, ICE agents showed up and began arresting illegal immigrants
That's hilarious.
Outside of the press conference.
I love it.
And LA Mayor Karen Bass was not happy that Border Patrol agents showed up at the rally and started enforcing the law. Here she was talking to the media about it.
Not believe that this just happened to be a coincidence.
There is no way this was a coincidence. This was widely publicized that the governor and many of our other elected officials were having a press conference here to talk about redistricting, and they decided they were going to come and thumb their nose in front of the governor's face. Why would you do that? That is unbelievably disrespectful. It's a provocative act. They're talking about disorder in Los Angeles, and they are the source of the disorder in Los Angeles right now. This is just completely unacceptable. This is a administration, this is a Customs and Border Patrol that has gone amok. This absolutely has to stop. There was no danger here. There was no need to detain anyone here.
Patrice,
and there was
when has
certainly
the mayor...
no need.
When has the mayor of Los
Shown
Angeles...
that kind of fire in her belly.
Yes. When has she been this passionate about criminal vagrancy, about the safety in the streets? You can't walk down the streets of downtown Los Angeles. When has she been this passionate about making sure that homeowners can rebuild after the fires? When is she so this kind of passionate about anything? All they care about is Trump.
Recently in North Hollywood, a 70-year-old Sikh man was bludgeoned to death with a golf club. I didn't see her making a press conference, apologizing to the Sikh community that this kind of violence is happening in Hollywood. It's so weird to me that you've got this lady who we figure out now that not only do they care about holding power and gerrymandering, but they also care about protecting illegal immigrants who are committing violent crimes in the communities they're supposed to represent. So those are the two things Democrats really care about. And Karen Bass, she's not overseas this time around, but look out. Yeah. Maybe she'll be heading on a plane tomorrow.
To Martha's Vineyard to hang out with Muriel Bowser.
To Martha's Vineyard.
It's 6:52.